Hi friends, welcome to Sunday School. So last Sunday we celebrated a special holiday. Can anyone tell me what special holiday we celebrated last Sunday on April 4th? That's right, Easter. So Easter is a really happy holiday where we celebrate that Jesus is risen and revealed. Jesus is alive and he appears to his disciples. So with that in mind, let's begin today with an Easter greeting. Okay, we're going to do it popcorn style. So I'll say it first and you repeat after me. So here we go. Jesus is risen. Hallelujah. Jesus is risen indeed. Perfect. So last time we were together, we heard the Bible story about Holy Week. And we talked about all the different emotions people were feeling that week. Today, we're going to continue talking about emotions, specifically the emotions of Jesus's closest followers following his death and after his resurrection. So I'm wondering, have any of you ever been on a roller coaster? And what was that like? So if you haven't been on one, or you're not quite sure what a roller coaster is, it's a type of amusement park ride. And people ride in small open cars and they're strapped in, so they have maybe a bar across their lap, or on the really big roller coasters, they have bars that pull down over your shoulders and hold you safely in place. And the cars ride on a kind of railroad track, and they go really fast. And there's a lot of sharp turns and twists and lots of hills up and down. And on the really big roller coasters, they might even go all the way around. So you go upside down. So sometimes people talk about being on an emotional roller coaster. What do you think that might mean, to be on an emotional roller coaster? Well, sometimes people feel up, just like roller coasters. They feel up, they're on top of that hill, and they're happy or excited or even content. And other times people feel down, so they might be at the bottom of the hill on that roller coaster, and they feel sad or confused. Now, people's emotions might change quickly without any warning, kind of like those tight turns and twists on a roller coaster. So in today's Bible story, Jesus' followers are on an emotional roller coaster. They experience a lot of emotions in just a little bit of time. So let's listen. Our Bible story today includes two parts. Jesus has risen and Jesus is revealed at Emmaus. So both stories come from Jesus' life and ministry. So if we are looking for them in the Bible, we would find them in the New Testament in the first 4 books. And those first 4 books of the New Testament are also called Gospels. So today's story comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 24, verses 1 through 35. So I'm not going to read the stories directly from the Bible today, but we're going to use this picture and we're going to go over the story, and we're going to use this picture of a roller coaster that I made. So this is an emotional roller coaster. And as we go over the story, we're going to use these stickers of emotions to identify some of the emotions that Jesus's followers were feeling throughout the story. And then we're going to take them and we're going to place the stickers on our emotional roller coaster, wherever we think they might belong. So I did include a picture of this emotional roller coaster with your Sunday school email. So if you'd like to print that out and draw your own faces with emotions on the roller coaster wherever you'd like to put them. You can do that too, or you can just watch and we'll do it together. Okay, so let's start. Our story today begins in sadness, right? Jesus has died, his body is laid in the tomb, and on the morning of the third day following his death, some of his female followers are coming to the tomb. They're bringing spices and they're going to anoint his body. So they're feeling kind of sad. Where do you think sadness might go on our roller coaster? And let's pick out a sad picture. I think this one with lots of tears looks very sad. So on our roller coaster, we could put it someplace low. We could put it at the bottom of the hill. I'm going to put it right here at the bottom of this first hill because it's low and it's at the start of the roller coaster. So when the women arrive at the tomb, they're confused because the big stone that had sealed the tomb has been rolled away. And it was heavy, so they're confused. How could that have happened? And then when they go inside the tomb, they're surprised because Jesus' body is gone. So we can add a confused or a surprised face to our roller coaster. So I'm going to add a surprised, I think. This one with the big eyes, that looks surprised to me. If you're drawing your own, you can put it wherever you'd like, but I'm going to put my surprised face right by that first turn. They're like, whoa, where are we going? So the women are confused and they're surprised. And then the women are frightened when two men in gleaming clothes gleaming bright like lightning, appear to them suddenly. So that sounds kind of scary, doesn't it? So let's look for a scary face, something that looks scared, right? And we have lots of sad faces. I think this one right here looks like their teeth are chattering, kind of. Okay, and where might we be scared on our roller coaster? I think going down a big hill would be scary, right? I'm going to put my scared face going down that first big hill. Okay, so the women are scared. Then the two men, they're not really all that scary because they have some reminders and good news for the women, telling them that they shouldn't be looking for Jesus in the tomb. The men ask, "What are you doing? Don't you remember Jesus' words? What Jesus said? He is risen." So how do you think that made the ladies feel, knowing that their friend was alive? Probably made them feel happy, right? Excited? So let's pick out a happy, excited face here. How about this first smile up in the corner? That looks happy. Where would happy go on our roller coaster? Probably at a high spot, right? On top of a hill? We'll put it on top of this hill. Up by the clouds. Okay. So the women are excited because, well, they do remember what Jesus said, and they run to tell the apostles the good news. But when they tell the apostles are like, well, that's kind of unbelievable. I don't know. So Peter runs off to look for himself. So what kind of face do you think the apostles might have been making? Do you think they were maybe a little confused too, a little questioning? How about we put this questioning? Should we put this face with the question mark? They're like, I'm not so sure. Let me go look. So, but they're probably a little bit hopeful. So we'll have them going up this hill. Like, I hope it's true, right? So later that very same day, two disciples are walking to Emmaus. Now, Emmaus is a city about 7 miles from Jerusalem. So they're walking to Emmaus, and they're still really confused. And they're talking with each other, trying to make sense of everything that's happened. And so Jesus joins them on their walk. But they are so busy talking, and they are so confused that they don't even realize or recognize that it's Jesus. Up and down, our roller coaster is going up and down, right? So we need to add another confused face. I think these guys are really confused. Let's give them the ones, kind of the squiggly mouth and the dizzy eyes. Let's put them upside down on the middle of one of these loops. So they tell Jesus all about what has been happening. And filled with grief and sadness, they tell Jesus the story of the crucifixion. So let's add another sad face to our roller coaster. How about this sad face? It looks sad and it's talking. And let's say we're really pretty sad, so we went all the way down this hill. We're down here. Okay. If you're drawing your own faces, again, you can put it anywhere you want on your roller coaster. Okay. But then Jesus says, wait a minute, slow down. And he explains and he helps them understand why things happened like they did. And they feel a little better. It's like, have you ever seen the cartoons where the light bulb is above the cartoon character's head? When they finally understand something, a light bulb goes on above their head. That might have been how it was for the disciples. They finally understood. So let's see. We don't have any faces with light bulbs above their head. We do have a smiley face here with a halo. That's bright and shiny, right? Or we have this guy here who has glasses. He might be seeing things clearer. But I like this little face here. It's got a smile, and his eyes look like he's really looking at something beautiful. So let's put here, they're kind of changing their direction. Let's put them right on this corner. Kind of changing direction, changing how they see the story. Okay, so the disciples invite Jesus to stay with them for dinner because they want to hear more from this stranger. And when they all sit down to eat, Jesus breaks the bread with them. And at that moment, it's like their eyes are opened and they recognize who Jesus is. So how do you think the disciples felt when they recognized Jesus? They were probably really happy, right? Because realizing that Jesus had beaten death and was here with them, remember they were all sad in the beginning, they didn't think they'd see Jesus again, but Jesus had beaten death and was still with them. That must have been the most incredible feeling ever. That was amazing. So let's put the biggest smile we can see on our roller coaster. The biggest smile. You see a big smile on here? I like this one with the teeth. That's a really big smile. Now, where would a big smile go on our emotional roller coaster? It could go at the top of a hill, like a high point, right? I'm going to put mine right here, though, because I feel like they just experienced this incredible, thrilling thing. So I'm going to put it right there at the end of the ride. So there we have it, our emotional roller coaster, the Easter story. And it has all these ups and downs and twists and turns. But at the end, it ends with joy because the Easter story is all about joy. We heard how sad Jesus' friends were when they thought Jesus was dead and that he would not be with them. But the amazing part of the Easter story is that Jesus is with us. Jesus is always with us even when we cannot see him. So let's make something that will help us remember that Jesus is with us even when we can't see him. So for this activity, you're going to need some watercolors and a brush, a cup of water, a paper towel. You're going to need a piece of white paper. Our lesson says construction paper or watercolor paper. Cardstock would probably work. You probably could use a piece of computer like printer paper, but it's thin, and using the watercolors, it might get wet, so you have to be a little careful with that. We're going to need a white crayon, and then I covered my workspace with some paper. You might have a paint shirt you want to wear. Okay, so I'll show you how to do the craft. You can start with me, and then if you need more time, you can pause the video to finish your picture. Okay, to get started, we're going to take our white crayon and we're going to write Jesus on our white sheet of paper. So you can have an adult help you with this too. And capital J, E, S, U, S. I have some extra room, so I'm going to put an exclamation point with a little heart at the bottom. Okay, so there. Can you see Jesus? Not really, can you? Because we wrote with white crayon and white paper, and you can't really see that. But let's see what happens when we start to paint our paper. So I'm just going to use colors of the rainbow. I think I'll just make rainbow colors across mine, so I'm going to get my brush wet. I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to start painting. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Can you see that? What happened when I painted? Now you can see the J, right? Can you see the E-S-U-S? Not really. Let's keep painting. I'm going to use the next color. You can paint yours too. Okay, I'll just make my rainbow colors across here. And do some yellow. You make sure all the orange is out of my brush so I don't get orange in my yellow. I suppose you could paint whatever you wanted. You could paint all with your favorite color. You could paint a landscape scene. I'm just doing the colors across of the rainbow. So green. What do I need yet? I need some blue. You'll probably want to take a little more time to paint yours. I'm just kind of quickly doing this. It's turning out really pretty though. And I'm going to finish with some purple. And there we have it. So we couldn't see Jesus on the paper, but it was there. And in the same way, Jesus is always with us, even when we cannot see him. Pretty cool. It's time to talk about our highs, our lows, and our God sightings. What made you happy this week? What made you sad? And where did you see God at work in the world? So I'm going to start with my low. My low was that I didn't sleep well one night. So I was tossing and turning, and it felt like I was only sleeping like 30 minutes at a time. And even when I was sleeping, I was having bad dreams. So that was a long night, and that was my low. My high was, well, with all the nice weather we've been having, I'm starting to see some shades of green in the grass, and my perennial plants, the ones that come back every year, are starting to poke up through the ground in my gardens, and pretty soon our yards will be full of color again. So this is one of my favorite times of the year, and anytime that the seasons are changing, I just think it's amazing to watch. So that was my high. My God sighting, I had my first COVID-19 vaccination this week. So my God sighting is all the people working together to provide the COVID-19 vaccinations. The scientists who made the medicine, the people that deliver it, the nurses and healthcare workers that give the vaccinations, and the people coming to get vaccinated, all working together to keep our community safe and healthy. So what kind of God sightings, highs and lows did you have this week? Could you think of any? Take some time and discuss those with your parents or other people in your family. And if you want, share them with us at church too. You can write them down and email or text them to Dar. We'd love to hear from you. Let's end our time together with a prayer. We'll do it popcorn style, so I'll say a part first and you repeat after me. Dear Lord, thank you for the glorious gift of your resurrection. The good news of Easter. Help us to always remember that you are always with us. You walk beside us and live within us. Help us to show your love in all the ways we can. Amen. In today's story, we began in sadness, and we quickly moved through confusion, fear, and eventually found joy. Easter is all about joy. It's about the good news that the angels shared with the scared women. It's about the good news that the women shared with the confused apostles. And Easter is about the good news that the apostles finally understood when Jesus broke bread with them. That Jesus is always with us. Even death cannot separate us from Jesus and his love. So, do you remember the greeting from the start of today? Let's try it again to say goodbye. I'll say a part and you repeat it after me. Jesus is risen. Alleluia. Jesus is risen indeed. Bye, guys. See you next time.